The Exile of the Sons of Uisliu, and How Fergus Became Exiled from Ulster. Translation by Matthew Boyd. What caused the exile of the sons of Uisliu? That's easy. The Ulstermen were feasting at the house of Conavar's storyteller, Fedelimin MacDowell. His wife was there to wait on everyone, on her feet, despite being pregnant. Drinking horns and food made the rounds, and there was drunken shouting. When it was bedtime, the woman made her way to bed. As she crossed the floor of the house, the child in her womb screamed so that the whole fort heard it. The scream had every man in the house on his feet, squaring off against the rest. Then Senha Mac Elala made a pronouncement. "Don't move an inch. Let's have the woman brought to us so we can find out where that noise came from." The woman was brought to them. Then her husband said, "What is that quaver of wild wailing, woman," he said, "that rages in your lowing womb? Whoever has ears to hear is crushed by the sound between your sides. It thunders. My heart fears much terror. It gushes blood." Then she hurried to Cathva, since he was a seer. "Listen to good-looking Cathva, a gracious prince, a diadem potent and powerful, exalted by druid magic, since I lack the wise words to enlighten Fedelimin with knowledge, because a woman never knows what's in her womb, even when it screams in there." Then Cathva said, "What screamed in your womb? A yellow-haired woman with yellow curls, blue-gray, exquisite eyes, her cheeks dark purple as foxglove. To the color of snow I compare the flawless treasure of her teeth, her red leather lips resplendent. A woman spawning, slaying among Ulster's chariot fighters. What screams inside your womb? A tall blonde woman with long hair. Champions will vie for her. High kings will ask for her. They are massing forces in the west, under the aegis of Conavar's province. Red lips, like fine leather, part around pearly teeth. High queens will envy her and her gorgeous, flawless form." Then Cathva touched the woman's belly, and the child quivered under his hand. "It's true," he said, "there is a girl there, and her name will be Deirdre, and she will bring evil." Later, when the girl was born, Cathva said, "Deirdre, you'll bring devastation when you have a lovely face and frame. The Ulstermen will endure it in your lifetime, noble daughter of Fedelimin. Ever after, fiery woman, you'll set jealousy ablaze. In your prime, hear this, the 3 sons of Uisliu will be exiled. In your prime, a violent act, they'll be killed in a main. People will ever afterward rue the loss inflicted under the protection of the great Macroich. Fateful woman, thanks to you, Fergus will be exiled from the Ulstermen, and, a deed to weep over, Fiachna, son of Conavar, will die. Fateful woman, for your crime, Gareth Mac Illidan will die, and, an act that carries no less penalty, Yogan Mac Dorchacht will be slaughtered. You'll do something grim and gruesome in rage at Ulster's royal lord. Your remains will be untraceable. The case will be notorious, Deirdre." "Have her killed," said the warriors. "No," said Conavar. "I'll take her with me tomorrow, and she'll be raised the way I say, and be my consort." And the Ulstermen didn't dare set him straight about it. So that was done. Conavar raised her, and she grew up to be by far the most beautiful girl in Ireland. She was raised in a separate enclosure so that none of the Ulstermen would see her till she slept with Conavar. No one was ever allowed in there except her foster father, her foster mother, and also Laverham. There was no keeping her out, since she was a female satirist. One time, the girl's foster father was skinning a calf on the snow outside to cook it for her. Then she saw a raven drink the blood on the snow. She said to Laverham, "I could love a man with those 3 colors. Hair like the raven, I mean, and cheeks like the blood, and a body like the snow." "You're in luck," said Laverham. "He's not far from you. He's in the house nearby. That is Nishu, son of Uisliu." Then I won't be well again, she said, until I see him. Then at some point, Uisliu was by himself, on the earthwork ramparts, that is, of Emain, singing in a high tenor. The tenor singing of the sons of Uisliu was lovely. Any cow or animal that heard it gave 2/3 more milk. Any person who heard it was filled with a sense of calm and well-being. The sons of Uisliu were also skilled warriors. Even if they were surrounded by the whole of Ulster, their parrying and self-defense were so outstanding that they would never be defeated, as long as the three of them had their backs to each other. They were also fast as hunting hounds, and used their speed to kill wild animals. Anyway, when Uisliu was outside by himself, she snuck out, pretending to want to get past him, and at first he didn't recognize her. "That's a good-looking heifer walking by," he said. "The heifers grow big where there are no bulls," she said. "You have the bull of the whole province," he said. "The King of Ulster, I mean." "And if I could pick between the two of you," she said, "I'd choose a prime young bull like you." "No," he said. "What about Cathva's prophecy?" "Are you saying that you reject me?" "Well, yes," he said. Then she rushed at him and grabbed him by the ears. "These ears will ring with shame and mockery," she said, "unless you take me away with you." "Get away from me, woman," he said. "You'll get what's coming to you," she said. Then he let out a high-pitched wail. Hearing it made all the Ulstermen jump to their feet. The sons of Uisliu went to intercept their brother. "What's wrong with you?" they said. "It had better not be something Ulstermen would kill each other over." Then he told them what Deirdre had done to him. "This will turn evil," said his brothers. "Even so, you won't be disgraced as long as we're alive. We'll take her to another country. There's no king in Ireland who wouldn't welcome us." That was their decision. They left that night, that is, with 150 warriors, and 150 women, and 150 dogs, and 150 servants, and Deirdre in the mix as well. They spent a long time under the protection of kings all over Ireland. Thanks to Conover's plotting, many attempts were made to destroy them, and they were driven southwest, from Ruad, back northeast to Benatar, the hill of Howth. Finally, the Ulstermen chased them over to Scotland, where they camped out in the wilderness. When they ran out of game in the mountains, they turned to raiding livestock from the men of Scotland. One day the locals set out to destroy them. At that point, they went to the King of Scotland, and he made them part of his household. He hired them as mercenaries, and they built their houses on the green. They built houses because of Deirdre, so that no one would see her and try to kill them over her. Then at some point the king's steward came in early in the morning and poked around their house. He saw the couple sleeping. Then he went to wake the king. "I could never find a woman worthy of you until today," he said. "Uisliu, son of Uisliu, has a woman with him who would be worthy of the king of the western world. Have Uisliu killed as soon as possible, and the woman will sleep with you." "No," said the king, "but go proposition her on my behalf every day, in secret." Whatever the steward told her, she would pass it on to her lover that very night. Since the king hadn't gotten anywhere with her, the sons of Uisliu were often ordered into dire straits in hopes they would be killed. But they were tough and survived every bloodbath, so nothing came of the attempts. After talking to Deirdre, the men of Scotland gathered to kill them. She told Uisliu, "Get out of here," she said, "and if you don't leave tonight, they'll kill you tomorrow." She and the brothers left that night and went to an island in the sea. The Ulstermen were told about that. "It's tragic, Conover," they said, "for the sons of Uisliu to die in hostile lands for a bad woman's crime. It would be better to show them leniency, to feed them and not kill them, and have them come back here instead of letting them fall to their enemies." "So let them come," said Conover. "Have some sureties go get them." They received the message. "We welcome it," they said. "We'll go, and let's have Fergus come with us as a surety, along with Dovthach and Conover's son Cormac." The sureties went out and escorted them up from the sea. But Fergus was besieged with invitations to attend feasts. Conover had planned this because the sons of Uisliu had sworn that the first food that they ate in Ireland would be conifers. So Fergus's son, Fiachu, went ahead with them, and Fergus and Dovthach stayed behind. The sons of Uisliu came to the green at Emain. Then Yogan mac Durhacht, king of Fernmag, came to make peace with Conifer, since they'd been feuding for a long time. Yogan was the one assigned to kill the sons of Uisliu. Conifer was surrounded by his bodyguard, so they couldn't get to him. The sons of Uisliu were standing in the middle of the green, and the ramparts of Emain were lined with women. Yogan walked over to them with his troops. Then Fergus's son came to stand beside Nishu. Yogan welcomed them with a thrust of his great spear, breaking Nishu's back. Fergus's son put both arms around Nishu, pulled him down, and threw himself on top of him, so that the blows that rained on Nishu went through Fergus's son. Then all the sons of Uisliu were killed, here and there on the green. No one made it out, except on the point of a spear or the edge of a sword. And she was brought over to stand beside Conifer, and her hands were tied behind her back. Fergus was told what happened. So were Dovthach and Cormac. They came at once and did great deeds. Dovthach killed Conifer's son Main. Fiachna, the son of Conifer's daughter Fedlam, was brought down in a single thrust. Fergus killed Trechthan mac Treglethan and his brother. These killings were an outrage to Conifer's honor. Battle ensued, and in a single day a total of 300 Ulstermen fell. Before morning, Dovthach had slaughtered the young women of Ulster, and Fergus burned Emain. Then they went to seek refuge with Ailill and Maeve. They knew those two would be prepared to support them, but as Ulstermen, they took no pleasure in it. 3,000 went into exile. For 16 years there was no end to the weeping and trembling they inflicted. They made Ulster weep and tremble every single night. Meanwhile, Deirdre spent a year with Conifer. All that time she never smiled in laughter, or ate or slept enough, and she never lifted her head from her lap. When musicians were sent to distract her, she improvised this elegy. You admired the warband that swaggers into Emain after combat. Nobler still in striding home were Uisliu's 3 heroic sons. Nishu with good hazel mead, I'd wash him by the fire. Arden with stag or fine pig, tall Ainlee with a load on his back. You may love the tasty mead that the battle-glorious son of Ness drinks. By the seashore I once had regular refreshment that was sweeter. Noble Nishu would prepare the cooking pit of a roving warband on the forest floor. What the sons of Uisliu cooked up was more delicious than every honey-coated confection. You always dote on the music of pipers and horn players. Today I declare I have heard sweeter music. Conifer, your king, dotes on pipers and horn players. Sweeter still I used to find, famously thrilling, the tune of the sons of Uisliu. Nishu's bass was like a rolling breaker. His long-held notes were sweet music. Arden's baritone was good, and Ainlee's high tenor coming to the mountain hut. Nishu, his grave mound is heaped. He had a pitiful escort. I poured out for him. His body was mobbed, the deadly drink he died from. I loved his shearling cloak and handsome tunic. A graceful man, although it is sad today, I see no point in waiting for the son of Uisliu to come from the green. I loved his mind, determined and direct. I loved the warrior, noble and decorous. After a journey past the forest eaves, I loved to be bundled up together in the dawn. I loved the grey eye that women cherished, baleful to enemies. After we toured the forest, a noble partnership, I loved his tenor in the gloomy drizzle. I don't sleep now, or paint my nails. Joy I cannot even contemplate, since it won't bring back the son of Tyndall. I don't sleep. I lie there half the night. I rage against the crowds. I don't eat, and I don't laugh. Today I cannot spare the time for joy in the society of Emain, once packed with nobles, for serenity, solace, or soothing, or big house, or attractive ornaments. And when Conover tried to soothe her, she improvised this elegy. Conover, what's wrong with you? You brought up all the sorrows under my tears. Long as I may live, I'll never love you much. What I found most beautiful under the sky, what I loved most, you took from me, a great crime, not to see again until I die. His absence grieves me. This is how the sons of Uisliu look to me now, a jet-black grave mound over a white body. He was excellent beyond a multitude of men. Purple cheeks prettier than a river meadow, a red mouth, beetle-black eyebrows, a row of pearly teeth suffused with beauty like the noble sheen of snow. What he wore was famous among the Scottish warbands. His gorgeous purple cloak, a perfect match for its fringe of pure gold. His tunic was satin, a valuable treasure, with 100 gems on it, a polished multitude. To adorn it, its clear 50 ounces of white bronze. A gold-hilted sword in his hand, 2 grey spears with piercing points, a buckler rimmed with yellow gold, with a knob of silver on it. Fine Fergus betrayed us, bringing us over the sea. He sold his honor for beer. His great deeds have lapsed. If Conover's Ulstermen filled the plain, I won't lie, I'd trade them all to be with Uisliu, son of Uisliu, again. Break my heart no more today. I'll go soon to an early grave. Grief is stronger than the sea. I know it all too well, Conover. What do you hate most out of all you see? Said Conover. You, of course, she said, and Yogan MacDurhocht. Then you'll spend a year with Yogan, said Conover. Then he brought her over to Yogan. The next day they went to the fair of Macha. She was behind Yogan in the chariot. She had sworn that no 2 men would ever share her. Well, Deirdre, said Conover, between me and Yogan you look like a sheep making eyes at 2 rams. There was a huge outcrop of stone ahead of them. She drove her head into it until her skull was splinters and she was dead. This was the exile of the sons of Uisliu, and the exile of Fergus, and the death of the sons of Uisliu and Deirdre.